Welcome everyone, and all those the recording as well. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a meditation on death and impermanence. Kind of starting a bit of a section on that topic. So and you know we don't meditate for fun, uh, or maybe we do. I don't know, but it's we're trying to change our habits, change our mind, and make a difference in our lives and our existence outside of meditation. I think that's the probably one of our biggest challenges, not saying, "Oh, this is my meditation time," and then everything else is something else, like a almost like a disconnected life. No, 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 no. Um, we want to connect it all. So this is just planting the seed. So then, as our days go along, we think, "Oh yeah, I was meditating on that this morning, and maybe I can bring it to mind, make it present, make it real in my daily activity." So we start by finding a comfortable position, whether we're sitting on a cushion or chair, or if we have to lay down, no problem. Just try to find a position where the back is as straight as possible. Helps us stay awake, and it helps the energy move, helps the energy flow. But we don't want to be stiff, we want to be relaxed. So when you find that kind of position that you can hold for 30 minutes, then just relax the neck and the shoulders, the arms, the legs. And then we start to become aware of the breath, the inhale and the exhale. You can feel the the abdomen, or maybe our torso, filling with air when we breathe in. And then when we breathe out, we push it out. And we just observe the process. We don't have to control it. We watch it. Yeah. So no like pushing, but just observing the breath. So we'll watch this inhale, exhale, the expansion, contraction of the torso for just a minute. And then we bring to mind our motivation. So we can think that may we be the cause of happiness for the people around us. So may we kind and gentle with them. May we not make them angry. May we not cause them mental suffering. So may we not use any harsh words or mean speech. And may we help them to the possible extent that we can do that. It can be something small, but with intention. So with this little motivation, if we can just help a one or a few people or that we encounter with a good heart, then we make a difference in the world. And that kindness spreads. So we're just doing our part. Everything that's produced is impermanent. All products, they disintegrate because their very existence is a result of causes. It's a result of conditions. It's a result of collecting together of parts which do not have the power to sustain their product permanently. So that's interesting, right? The parts do not have the power to sustain their product permanently. So obviously they're impermanent. Or we can say um, impermanent is applied to any phenomenon which has the characteristic of disintegrating moment by moment. Disintegrating moment by moment. So you can think of like a water soluble pill. You pour water on it. You can watch it actually actively, slowly disintegrating moment by moment. If you watch a time lapse video of an iceberg or a solar cap, you can watch it disintegrate moment by moment. And for that reason, something can be both enduring and impermanent. And that's like the case um, with the continuity of mind. So how to think about that? Well, let's think about a house. A house is produced from a variety of parts, causal actions and conditions. There's the wood and the cement. There are workers. There's good weather. And then there's a house. And it endures for a period, but it can't sustain itself permanently. Eventually, it disintegrates into rubble. And we often see this driving through the countryside. An old farmhouse that's completely brought to its knees. So we can also think of it in a different way. We can say any accumulation is impermanent and will eventually disperse. So you may collect food, clothing, and various possessions, but none remains with you permanently. None of them. Not a single atom of them. And plants, they grow for days or years, but then they decay and disappear. Mountains, valleys, continents, oceans, suns, moons, planets, and even universes come into existence and they change constantly and eventually disintegrate, existing no more. Even the mindfulness of our breath will remind you of impermanence. So just think about that. If the breath were permanent, then its nature would be such that it would not change. It would therefore, uh, it would neither rise or expand or fall or contract or move or change in any way. So as we did at the beginning, we're watching the breath. We're watching the breath move in and out. So if you look at the breath right now and you reflect on this momentary changes, and you can recognize the impermanence. And then if you observe your body, you'll vividly see impermanence. Remember when you were young, you were strong, handsome, pretty. And then you look in the mirror and you see a dramatic illustration of impermanence. And sometimes you can actually see the minute changes of the body's um, subtle impermanence, just as you look in the mirror. You can see tiny changes in color, shape, appearance. So we can see it. It's slow, but we can see it. We're witnesses of it. And if we studied a little biology or read up a little bit about it, then we have many examples of how this change is constant. Because there's decay and renewal of the body. And something like 98% of the cells of the body are renewed within 1 year. You can use the example of cutting our finger. A a scratch on the knee. There's a little blood. Put a bandage on it, and you can watch it slowly heal over the course of a few days until it's completely disappeared. Completely healed. So that's the body. What about the mind? The mind also constantly changes. It's elated today, depressed tomorrow, calm in the morning, agitated by noon, full of altruism one moment, and then obsessed with self-concern the next. So your mind is constantly changing because it's a product. It is impermanent. So there's these stories of the great master Atisha, and he was known to sit by the river recollecting impermanence. He was observing the river's continuous flow, always moving and constantly changing, just like the mind. So just like this meditation, we all came from different places and we arrived at this time. We're collected together for a moment at the beginning, and then at the end, we'll all disperse. We'll all part. And that's because aggregation is impermanent. So we can think that 150 years from now, it's certain that all people currently occupying this planet will have gone their different ways to other lives. Some will be gods, some human, others in the lower realms, some in the Pure Lands, and a few will become enlightened. So this gross impermanence that we experience in this life, this is seen in death, and contemplating death is very important to our practice. So just think, as as we've been contemplating on this impermanence and looking at this, if you understand death, it will cease to hold the same fear for you. So you'll come to accept death and it's inevitable that you'll learn more about the process and how to prepare for it well. And it seems obvious if you start thinking about it, because if you compare this approach with someone who spends the life denying death, denying impermanence, and refusing to acknowledge it, and refusing to learn about it, then it's hard. So this, or with this unrealistic clinging to permanence, death remains the unknown. It remains something that's frightening and something tragic. But when we meditate on it, we bring it into our scope, into our practice, then there's no fear. Everything that accumulates disintegrates. So we dedicate all of the merits contemplating impermanence, contemplating disintegration, contemplating death. And we dedicate it to all those who are suffering, all those who are in pain, all those who are facing death, especially our dear friend Eileen. May she face death without fear. And dedicate to all of our teachers who inspire us, who bring us the knowledge to make it real and not just make it textbook. May they continue to teach and share with us all the knowledge and wisdom shared over the generations for many generations to come. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a happy, auspicious Thursday. May you be well and spread the happiness.